parasitics which have been formed here at this point at the VDD rail, and next one is at the input part, and third one is at the output part. So these are the main three regions where the parasitics have been formed. Parasitics are nothing else but which we call it as an unwanted capacitances or unwanted resistances, which we don't want actually in our circuit to be formed, but because of the circuit connections, because of the small mistakes of the designers, these parasitics might evolve, and we are supposed to look into that design in order to minimize the parasitics or in order to remove the parasitics. So first one, let us consider this particular layout here. Let us see what are the impacts where this parasitics are formed in this layout. Here, this the first one is at the point of VDD rail, and second one is at the point of input, which is called as a B point, and the third one is at a point of output. So these are the three main regions where we are supposed to concentrate while designing the transistors or CMOS circuits layouts. Let us see now one after the another the parasitics. First, at point A, this is a power supply rail. First one is called this part, and this part is called as a power supply rails. This is called as a VDD rail, and this one, bottom one, is called as a ground rail. So now first one, the major part, since we supply the power over here, right from here itself, the power has been supplied to the entire circuit. So majorly we are supposed to look into this part where in order to avoid any kind of parasitics in order to be formed. Parasitics is nothing else, but it's like if you talk about capacitances, you should take carefulness while drawing the layers so that there will be no lengthy parallel masks have been done, or no long parallel metal layers and other different layers comes into contact. If this parallel connections comes into contact, we call it as a capacitance. If the length of a particular layer is being increased, then definitely the resistance is going to be increased, which we have studied in the basics of your resistance. R resistance R is equal to rho L by A. It tells that directly the resistance is directly proportional to length, and it is inversely proportional to the area. It means that if the width of this particular layer is increasing, the resistance is going to be decreased. Why? Because area, whenever you talk about the aspect ratio, area is equal to W by L. We call it as an W by L in the aspect ratio. That is, L is the length of the particular channel, and W is the width of the channel. If the width is increasing, then definitely what happens? It reduces the resistance. Why? Because resistance is inversely proportional to the width, and it is directly proportional to the length. If length is increasing, then the resistance also increases. Why does the resistance increases? The main reason is that resistance is nothing else but we are talking about with respect to the length of a particular mask or the channel. It takes longer amount of time for the charge carriers to move from one point to another point. If the time which is taken by the charge carriers to move from one point to another point.
Sir, are you using any sketch right now?
Can you please, your voice is breaking.
Sir, are you using any sketch right now?
I'm not using any sketch. I'm just using a pointer over here.
Okay, sir. As you have told the formula just now, I thought.
Okay, you want the formula? You want the formula?
Yes,
fine.
Sir.
The formula which you all know, we all know. Excuse me. R is equal to rho L by A,
Okay,
where
sir.
R is a resistance, and rho is nothing else but is a specific resistivity, or else specific resistance or resistivity. L is the length, and A is the area of the cross section. So
Okay.
now here, if you can see that this resistance is directly proportional to length. So if the length of this one particular mask is increased, what happens? Then definitely we can say that the resistance also increases. But when you come to this particular area, it is regarding the width. If the width has been increased, the resistance is going to be decreased. So that is how the aspect ratio has been formed. Aspect ratio is nothing else, but we are talking about the length and width of the transistor. If the width of the transistor is increased, the resistance will be decreased. Lower resistance, if you want a low resistance, the width should be increased. And we cannot decrease the length of a particular transistor. Why? Because the length of a transistor will denote the technology node. Technology node means if you're trying to design any kind of transistor in 90 nanometer particular technology, the length of that particular transistor has been fixed. It has to be that much. Below that particular default value, we cannot reduce the length of a particular transistor. You cannot even reduce it. Even if you try to give a smaller value in the software, it will not even take also. It will set it for the default value as per the different technologies. So as per the technology node, the length will be fixed for a default value. For the minimum value, below the minimum value, we cannot reduce the length. But whereas the width can be increased so that in order to decrease this particular resistance. So now we can see now this particular in this particular area of power supply, the capacitance which is formed over here will have a lesser impact upon the entire circuit. Therefore, no effect on the delay part. How to understand this delay? See here, if you are having a larger capacitance, I'm talking about, if you are talking about larger capacitance means, let us try to imagine that in order to make you understand, I can tell that capacitor is nothing else but it is a parallel connection of two metal plates. If you're having two metal plates, depending upon what to say, the capacitance of this particular capacitor. If the capacitance is large, it takes larger amount of time in order to charge a particular capacitor. You might have, even nowadays we are just moving into a new era of batteries for a mobile phones or for any of the newer technology devices. You might have heard about recently a mobile phone has been launched with a 7000 mAh. It's like first in kind of a mobile phone, which all the specifications. But if you see that charging capacity, the charging capacity of that particular 7000 mAh is nearly 2 hours. It takes nearly 2 hours in order to charge that 7000 mAh. But if you see about 4000 mAh or 3000 mAh, hardly the time is lesser than 1 hour. Means it takes the time. Time is very important. In order to completely fill that capacitance, it takes longer time. That time itself tells the delay. Why we are talking it as a delay? Because if the capacitor is not completely charged, we cannot say that our output is obtained at the output part. So the capacitance has to be very small so that it can easily deliver the output from one point to another point. So that's why the capacitance has to be very small. Why we are telling this point is not, it will not affect much on the delay, because it has no way connected to the input and output of the signal. It only supplies the power to the circuit. So this capacitance which is formed here, it will not have much impact on the delay of the signal movement. Coming to the resistance. Here the resistance, if resistance is increased, the resistance means if you are talking about the length of this mask is increased, then definitely it increases the delay, because it slows down your entire system. If resistance is increased means it slows down your entire system. So the signal moves very slowly. That's the main reason why we are supposed to take care about this resistance at the power supply rail. How to do that one? By minimize this resistance by reducing the diffusion length. The diffusions you might have seen, we will be diffusing the impurities in the particular area wherever you want that one. If the length of that one, even I have told in while talking about the fabrication part, I have told even the length to what amount that particular diffusion is being done, like some 10 millimeters, 10 micrometer. I have told those are the minimum lengths. If you increase that particular diffusion length, then definitely the resistance is going to be increased. So you are supposed to look into that parameter also. The diffusion lengths also should be minimum as per the each and every technology. Then minimize using parallel wires. See here, parallel wires means we can, instead of using one particular contact here, you can use one after the another 3 or 4 contacts. That also increases this particular resistance. In this particular layout, we have used only one contact here, but in some of the layouts, if you see some designs, they'll be using more number of contacts in order to get some other performances. Why? Because VLSI is like having a trade-off. It will be having a trade-off between different parameters. If you want one particular performance of one particular parameter, then the other you are supposed to compromise for the other parameter. Like CNO, if you want, nowadays we are having many different mobile phones. If you see the mobile phones, why? Because this is an era of mobile phones. If you see that one, many different companies are releasing their own different products. But when you try to review the different mobile phones, you can see the difference between the two mobile phones. One will be good in one particular aspect, other one is going to be good in other aspect. Means that is called as a trade-off. In order to get one particular parameter, we are supposed to compromise the other one. That is called as a trade-off. So that happens in every VLSI design. So the second one, the second kind of parameters which happens here, parasitics, which takes places at the input part. At the gate input, the capacitances increases. This capacitance which is formed here will increase the delay. You're supposed to look into this capacitance. It has to be very less amount of capacitance should be found, or else it will be much better if you take care of that capacitance and not to make that capacitance to be formed. Means you should be carefully, you should design the layout, each and every layer, and the distance between the two or three layers. Wherever you're trying to design this input, you should take care as a VLSI design engineer, so that the capacitance will be very minimum, or no capacitance has been formed. If a capacitance is formed here itself, it takes longer amount of time, so that the delay will be increased in order to send the signal from input to the output part. So that's why it increases the delay on the previous state, and often the transistor gates will dominate. So therefore, it also dominates the transistor number of transistors also increases. Why? Because you are supposed to drive that huge amount of load. In order to drive the huge amount of load, you need again some drivers to drive that one. Then again, the resistance increases, delay on the previous stage. If you are having a huge amount of resistance here, if you are using a long path or long mask, then that increases the delay. Let us assume this is a buffer circuit where it has another inverter over here. Then if you are having a large capacitance and resistance here, the signal which comes from here, from the previous inverter to the next inverter, it takes longer amount of time in order to feed that output of the previous inverter as an input to this one, as input to the second inverter. So that is what is mentioned here as a previous stage. Previous stage means all the circuits have been connected from one module to another module. So this is very important, where we are supposed to look into this concepts of capacitance and resistance at input part. The next one, the concept of capacitance and input at the output terminal. The resistance and capacitance will increase the delay, and this is a major and most important point, where you should have the minimum resistance and minimum capacitance. Since the CMOS is having lower capability to drive the large capacitive loads, the technology of CMOS has switched to the BiCMOS, where you will be using a BJT in order to drive the large capacitive loads wherever you require large capacitances in the design. In that cases, we're using a BiCMOS over here. Or else, if you're not using a BiCMOS technology, or if you're not using a BJT over here in order to drive the large capacitances, then you should make sure that the capacitance which is formed over here at the output and the resistance which is formed over here will be very minimum. Those has to be very minimum. Otherwise, it will increases the delay. The resistance and capacitance near to the output causes an additional delay. The capacitance and resistance at the output should be very minimum, or else you should make sure there will be no capacitance or no resistance caused, and that will act as a parasitics for the huge design, or for your and even it will degrade the performance of the design. And this is regarding the small signal analysis of from input to the output part, how a signal moves. This is a small signal analysis of this particular design.